So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is JD, and I'm here to speak on behalf of my CIO, Ian. So, Ian, myself, and our entire IT team have been working with Viewqwest for the past year on transforming our network and security infrastructure. It has been a successful partnership, and I'm really happy to be here with our Viewqwest partners. The great thing about the solutions that we have implemented is that we co-created this design. So we built and designed this based on our unique needs. So today I will share some principles behind the design and some history, interesting history connection between the cybersecurity. All right. So yeah, so as we all may know, many of the cyber-related attacks have roots on the real world, especially on the military. So today, let's see how this history, how we can relate this history into the cyber world. All right. So at the beginning, naval defense started with armor as far back as Greek and Roman times, with simple bronze and big cladding. But as weapons got harder, so did the shielding technology. So this is no different from the cybersecurity. Then, as incendiary weapons started to be used, the Chinese ship makers started weapon heights to stop the burning. As you can see here, the change in attack format also warrants the change in the material used. And in November 1859, the first ironclad battleship was developed by the French, the Gloire. So this was the rise of the perimeter defense. But as the guns were getting more powerful, so did the ironclad battleship design became obsolete. So another evolution in history. So maturity in technology design have resulted to specialized naval defense armor. For example, belt armor is the one that will be used to protect the outer shell of the ship. So in cybersecurity, this is very similar to the perimeter defense. Then later, armored citadel were used to protect the critical parts of the ship. This is very similar to the hardened system to protect the core components of the organization. And then as the advancements of knowledge in physics, slope armor was developed. So this slope armor was developed to fend off the direct projectile attacks. A very close analogy for this one is the web. So web application firewall is there for us, or is there to minimize the attacks like DDoS. And then another example is the torpedo belt. So torpedo belt is the one that minimizes the impact of direct torpedo hit. This is very similar to endpoint detection and response, like EDR. So the EDR are the ones that contains the blast ranges of malware inside the organization. But again, in truth, development of guided missiles have made the naval armor much less important, as they are highly accurate and can penetrate to even thickness of armor. So as you can see here, there's a continuous evolution of defense because somehow the attackers are also evolving. Then the last evolution I'll talk about is the compartmentation. So this is the birth of assumed bridge mentality. So this was invented by Chinese as early as Han and Song dynasties. So this is the subdivision of ship's hull into watertight compartments that can be isolated to retain buoyancy if the hull is damaged. So this is the bottom part of the ship, wherein if one hull is damaged, it can be isolated or it can be watertight. So the ship will still afloat. So this is now the standard design for all large ships. All right. Now that I have walked you through on the design and some warship history, let's see on how we can relate this into the cyber world. All right. The idea is to apply the concept of compartmentation. So what does it mean? It means that there should be no direct internet traffic to and from the sites or branches. Also, the concept of security point of presence will play a very important role in this design. There should be no, or it will serve as your control choke point to your organization. And lastly, traffic between sites can be isolated with a click of a button or any automated triggers similar to the ship compartment. Then let's see how this design would work with an example. So in this example, site A and site B are in the same region, sharing a security hub. So all traffic to and from the sites will go to the security hub where the traffic will be inspected. In this example, if say site A goes to site B or site B goes to the internet, all of those traffic will be inspected here in the security hub. So site C might be in a different location or probably different country that might need a separate security hub. This of course has to be decided by your business in mind, balancing the cost and the assets that needs to be protected. Alright, so you may ask, what is inside the security point of presence? So the function of the security point of presence should not be static. It should always evolve to the trend landscape. But in general, it should have the following capabilities. So first capability is the next-gen firewall. So this is the shared firewall across all sites where the traffic will go through the security hub. Second, it should have a robust intrusion prevention system used for virtual patching to protect your unpatched systems from being exploited. Another function you can use is you can use your security hub as your VPN concentrator for your organization. And then another advanced function is that you can use your security hub as your secure web gateway. Since your security hub is your gateway to the internet, or that's your the entry point from your internet, you can block all inappropriate websites or content based on your acceptable use policies. And then another function is you can use security hub as your central authentication for all of your network connection. That way, you don't need to have a full NEC solution. And lastly, one option you can use is to use your security hub as your network honeypot. So what is a network honeypot? So network honeypot is like a real system, like a real computer system, wherein it has application, it has data, and it is fooling the cyber criminals into thinking that this is a legitimate target. So it basically helps your cybersecurity to know the tools and techniques that the cyber criminals are using. So what's next? So how do we get started? So before implementing such solution, you need to understand the following. So understand your network segments. So you need to know all of your network endpoints. You need to know all your ingress and egress points to your organization. So this is very critical. So this is very important in your design. There should be no road circuit that can bypass the choke point. Again, our choke point is the security point of presence. Then you need to review the design. So you need to review the design. You need to know the level of protection you need. And you also need to be clear on what are the functions you need from a security hub. For example, you don't have to have a VPN concentrator if your organization doesn't have any remote users. So things like those. And then you need to be clear about your policy and you need to be ready to qualify them. So what does it mean? So system need policies that can be converted into playbooks for better automation and speed of execution. The next one, you need to be clear about your isolation, failures, and speed. The choice between automatic and manual needs to be balanced by risk and business stability. You cannot just turn off your whole network because one of your site has issues or has been breached. So this is very important as well. And lastly, you need to conduct drills to test the effectiveness, of course. So you need to know if there are any weak points from your design. And, things like that. So in conclusion, basic security is very important. humans are still the weakest link. So it's really important for us to conduct security awareness training, and those trainings should evolve with the evolving trends as well. Second, backup are still essential. So having a good backup is your foundation of assumed breach approach. This is like your last line of defense when organization is already breached. And then for the third one, you are only as strong as your weakest link. As I've said earlier, there should be no deviation from the security path. And lastly, high availability design. So you need to ensure that you have multi-paths to security path. So it will be useless if you have a very good security path, but you don't have any redundancy. If it's down, there's no connection at all. That's all for me. Thank you for listening, and have a good day.
All right, thank you so much for that insightful presentation. And I'm sure that you are excited to know more, to learn more. However, let's go back to what we talked about during Mr. Cortez's presentation. Well, I'm sure that you will all agree with me, change is the only constant, right? And even in cybersecurity, there will be changes. What we know as cybersecurity is also changing, and the attackers are also evolving. Okay, so what else can I say? What we know as cybersecurity is also changing, and we have to take note what we can learn from the evolution of warship defense, its similarity to cybersecurity industry evolution, and why assumed breach is what IT and security leaders need to consider. Of course, solutions are necessary, no questions asked. But before implementing solutions, understand your network, review the design, like what he said, be clear about your policies, and be clear about isolation triggers and speed, and conduct drill to test effectiveness. All right, we're only as strong as our weakest link, so let's remember that.